And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. So do me a favor, hit subscribe, watch, comment, and share with family and friends. Let's get this community to 1 million, because I promise you, the stupidity, it's not ending. Meanwhile, Trump loves to talk tough on tariffs until the markets tank, then he chickens out. On my Mea Culpa podcast, I sat down with journalist Vicky Ward to unpack how Trump's entire trade policy is actually built on slogans and not strategy. I mean, there's no plan, there's no explanation, just chaos and branding. Vicky explains how grifters are whispering in Trump's ear, how they're pushing him towards economic stunts that threaten recession. Meanwhile, even while the closest allies can't explain what the hell his tariff policy actually even is. It's not leadership, it's marketing, and the country is going to pay the price. Play the clip. When they start talking to him, and they're great with the slogans, that you know, Trump is great at, he's not just great, he is a master at branding. When you start with that branding 90 days ago, 90 deals, 90 days, that whole nonsense, there is no legislation regarding it. There are no details regarding it. In fact, there's no explanation into these 90 days, 90 deal concept. How dangerous is it that we now run economic policy by slogans?
Well,
you didn't think this was going to be an easy interview, did you?
No, I didn't. I mean, you're right. It is the problem. It's not even just running it just by slogans. It's also by barometer, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, at the end of the day, as you know, what was it that TACO stood for? I mean,
Trump always chickens out.
There you go. At the end of the day, he's looking at the markets. And, it's like being on a game show, right? As long as he thinks everyone, or a reality show, as long as he thinks everyone's watching and they're with him and supportive, look at the tariffs. And then when the economy tanked, I think what he did in that case, he was right to pull it away. But what it shows you goes back to what you said at the beginning about incompetent people being in his ear. Everything he's done about the economy doesn't lead us to think that there are grown-ups with a cohesive economic policy or trade policy who've talked to him and persuaded him, and there's no clear selling of it. It just feels that Trump is sort of, he had one idea, he had to do a U-turn. Now, this is about marketing. You're right, Michael. It's about marketing, and he'll see if he can pull it off, but it's not about anything fundamentally good for our economy, I don't think.
Of course not, right? What do you think?
Although, Michael, I will say this to you. Someone close to Trump and who's known him for a long, long time said something to me, shortly after the inauguration that I think is directionally right. Broadly, Trump wants to be the peace and prosperity president. That's what he wanted at the outset of this. He wants to win the Nobel Peace Prize. I think he's been quite overt about that. And he wants, he wanted certainly to come in and go down in the history books. And I think, again, the man very well. I know him a bit. He cares about his legacy. He does.
He does.
And he wanted, I think he wants, he's not trying to screw things up for the economy, but it does. I mean, the tariffs and all of that does feel like a muddle. I mean, and obviously, you know, when it comes to peace, again, it's all felt a bit muddled, because he said on the one hand he wanted to pull America out of wars and he wanted to solve everything. Well, instead we've dropped a bunker buster bomb on Iran, and we don't seem to be really getting anywhere with Ukraine and Russia. So
or Israel and Hamas,
right.
or, you know, I mean, it's not, it doesn't just start and stop there, you know. But hey, Vicky, let me ask you this though: what does it say about Trump's White House that even his senior officials, this is to your point, even Trump's senior officials cannot explain what this tariff plan actually is? You know, I know people have asked that of Lutnick. I know Howard Lutnick longer than I know Trump. I know Howard longer than I know Trump. Let me be very clear. Howard doesn't know what the tariff plan actually is. When you start sending letters to countries, Laos, Myanmar, Cambodia, Thailand, Bangladesh, Serbia, Indonesia, Bosnia, Africa, South Africa, Japan, Kazakhstan, Malaysia, South Korea, Tunisia. These are the next ones on the tariff rates by letter. Imagine you're the president or prime minister of that country, and you receive a letter that turns out, doesn't even address you by your name. Dear President of Japan, right? Which is the prime minister, by the way. But it says, Dear Mr. President of Japan, you now owe us 25%. Out of nowhere, they're now 40% on copper. They're here, they're there. Nobody understands. Nobody has been able to explain what this tariff plan actually is and what it is expected to accomplish, because the answer is it's going to accomplish nothing other than isolating America and throwing us into a recession, or at least an inflationary problem.
To play devil's advocate, wasn't the answer to do with this something to do with the national debt?
Well, that was what they were predicating the tariffs on. But what we know, and I like the same branding that Trump does, I'm pretty damn good at it. Consumers pay tariffs.
Right.
3 words. Tariffs are taxes. This notion that the country of origin is paying the tariff. 10 out of 10 of the top economists in this country have said that is just simply inaccurate. If that was the answer on an exam that they were giving in college or in high school or in graduate school, you would get an F.
Right. Well, isn't this, I mean, look, I'm just now going off what I read. But I do know Peter Navarro. I know him actually, you know, reasonably well. I haven't spoken to him in this administration, but I mean, the tariffs are his baby, right? And my understanding from people I talk to is that Howard Lutnick and Scott Bessent were the ones who went in initially when the market was tanking. You know, they used the window of Peter Navarro's absence from Trump's side to go in and reverse on that. So when you say Howard Lutnick can't sell it, you know, my question is, does Howard Lutnick even agree with it?
Of course he does. I mean, That's the funny thing. Does he actually in his heart agree with it? Or is he at least smart enough, which I know he is, to know that if you counter Trump's comment, you're toast. It's the question's not when you're getting shit canned. All right. It's not if you're getting shit canned, it's when you're going to get shit canned. Like what just happened with Pete Hegseth. All right. With, again, as I was talking about before, when it came to the pause on the transfer of the weapons, it's not if, it's just a matter of when.
Well, am I allowed to ask you this? Are you in touch with Howard Lutnick?
No, I have seen. I saw him a couple of weeks back, but we don't talk. We don't discuss this. No, and so on. But look, I'm just trying to get your thoughts onto, since again you do know Navarro. I get I get that they think this is a way of balancing things out. But I've even explained to people, just for example, since one of the ones I mentioned is Vietnam. Vietnam's one of their biggest sources of income is that they produce Nike sneakers.
Yeah.
All right. That's what they produce. United States, we produce military equipment. We produce technology. We're a service-oriented company, right? We're not a manufacturing country, right? And so this notion just takes us back to 150 years when the United States was a bigger manufacturing company, but we're just a country. We're just not that anymore. Hey everyone, first of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.